Bad breath, monkeys, notes, and blessings. Coming up on the Fraudcast.
In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud. In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud.
The following goes beyond the show and beyond the gram to bring you all the fraud that's fit to be uncovered. This is the Fraudcast, and now, here are your fraudcasters, Hanakawa and Katrina.
Hi, Hanakawa. How are you?
Oh, I'm always saying dandy. I'm fantastic.
Are you?
No.
Good. That's good to hear. No?
No.
You're being... Okay. Oh, okay.
It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday, and I'm already ready for this week to be done. But that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah,
it's
I guess.
busy time, so.
It's all just like running. Everything's running into each other, days upon days, whatever. It is what it is, you know? I did have both kids with me last weekend, which was nice.
Yeah, did you do anything fun?
We played Monopoly, and Baby Frauded thought he was going to be like, I have the strategy, I'm the best at math, I can do all of this stuff. And guess who ended up winning? That's right, that'd be me. We had a lot of
with real world experience. That's usually how it goes.
Well, you know, a lot of wheeling and dealing, making all kinds of deals on trading, properties for, okay, if you give me this, I won't make you pay rent when you land on this, all kinds of stuff. I don't know if it's sanctioned by the official Monopoly rules, but it was fine, and nobody threw a game board around the room. No dice were flung. Like, everybody came out of this with their hair intact. It was all right. So it worked out. What about you?
So board games usually enrage me, so we usually stick with video games. The kid ate everything in the house, so I mean that's a typical weekend for me.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah. No lie, this kid eats everything, and I'm just like, oh my God. It is literally like
wait till he's
rationing.
A teenager.
We laugh about it, but there is a savings account that is like, Grayson's snacks when he's 15. Because I might have to, what do they call it? Refinancing your home loan or whatever they do to
right, get a equity loan just to pay for his food when he's a teenager. Yeah, because
fun times with the hungry kid.
Baby Frauded was always a hungry kid, and he's a hungry kid now, and he's super skinny, because he's got that teenage metabolism. So, but he eats all the food too. Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, caught up on our shows. We watched Before the 90 Days on Sunday and Self Quarantine on Monday, and we're going to talk about both of them. So who answers the door when Dave knocks on Lana's door?
Right.
Purportedly Lana's door. Allegedly Lana's door.
Door number 8. So this is like door
number 8.
What game show is that where they get to pick the doors?
Let's make a deal.
Oh, that's the suitcases. So, it's like, what's in the suitcase?
Yeah.
An old man is behind the door.
Yes.
And so this actually threw me off.
Who's conveniently already mic'd up and signed a release to be on.
Of course.
On the show.
Of course. Well, think about it.
Convenient.
So, think about it. When they went into those apartment areas where supposedly she lives, it's like 4:00, end of the evening, and when they come out, it is nighttime. So I'm assuming that they either had to get into the building, because I'm pretty sure this place wasn't just open for anyone to walk into, and then probably get this guy to agree to be on camera to answer the door and say he doesn't know Lana, which we kind of already had an idea that it wasn't going to be Lana, but
Right, of course it wasn't going to be Lana. Yeah. Well, I still stand by. I think that everything that's happening here in this section of Ukraine is complete bullshit, and the producers are pulling it out of their boo holes, because what we've talked about before with like the candy store being an hour and a half away from the restaurant, which is right by her alleged house and stuff, and that doesn't make sense if it's a candy store she frequents and stuff. So the whole scene at the restaurant, I call bullshit on that. That was just a whole setup.
Well, of course.
And so I say the proprietor of the restaurant is married to this guy. So this was like a married couple, and they said, okay, we'll pay you both. I need one of you here and one of you here to play these roles. That's my analysis.
That would be really interesting. That would be really interesting. Something
I do not have proof of this at this point, but this is my suspicion.
That's your suspicions. Something that I thought about too, and I hope I didn't just lose it by thinking about it. Oh, if this is all bullshit, right? So here's a scenario that Lana doesn't know that all this is happening. So can you imagine if or when or maybe they find her and talk to her? If most of this is made up, even she doesn't know she stood this guy up.
But, okay, do you think she's aware that Dave was coming? She had to have been aware that Dave was coming.
I feel like she was aware Dave was coming. There may have been some reason why she decided not to meet him. Maybe it was because he wanted to meet her with a crew of people filming them. I don't know.
Well, she is incredibly shy.
She's incredibly shy, according to people that know her. I say that with air quotes because they say they know her from a long time ago, and she is incredibly shy. I'm like, sure, but she's also on a website that is looking for people that, you're going to have to...
Find me an American husband.
You're probably going to have to meet this person at some point. So, but usually when you do get to meet them, you aren't bringing an entire production crew with you to do so. So, maybe it was a mix of cold feet / I guess I don't feel like she's a catfish. I think we've had too many catfish for this to be one of them, but we'll see.
Right.
We end Dave's scene with him actually leaving. So he's on the plane headed back to Vegas. So that's kind of our cut point of, he doesn't meet Lana on this trip. But with I'm
having flashbacks to Caesar Maria. So Caesar goes home, and then on the show we see an interview with Maria and her friends. That's what I'm feeling.
Right, which could be true. That would be kind of crappy if production was able to find her and sent him home. But we don't know what the schedule. You know what I mean? They're we're able to find her, but let's let Dave think that he can't. Let's let him get back on the plane. Let's let him go back to Vegas. We see the previews for the next episode, and it looks like he's going to hire a private investigator. That's probably
either
something I would have...
for real or for pretend.
Hopefully for real, but we know that, there's all kinds of fabricated scenes, but he's with the wife of his friend who's making this call to the private investigator. So maybe the story is going to be more of, we got the private investigator, we found out where she really lives, and she agreed to actually meet with us. Then cut to production doing some little skit with her.
Yeah.
And then maybe some kind of reuniting scene where they actually get to meet and touch each other for real. But I feel like that's my hopes.
I feel like if they did find her, it was after he went home, and they didn't intentionally send him home, because they would have wanted that for the show. You would have thought if they found her while he was still in country, they would have wanted to have filmed that. Yeah.
I don't know what these producers think. I honestly think some of these segments are producers who are doing of thesis and film or something like that. And they're just doing this quick thing and then they're done. How many of these shows carry the same producers on TLC? It doesn't seem like many. No.
And the producers would be under Sharp's control, because Sharp is the production team, right? So any producers that they have that they send to other countries, or if they contract it out, like in the case of Paul and Creaney, they have local Brazilian film crews for them. But a lot of the other ones, they send their American film crews over. And I don't know what differentiates it, why for some they do local and some they don't. I don't know what the criteria is, if it has to do with,
I think
filming
it would probably
visas and all that.
Yeah,
But
it would have to do with maybe familiarity with the area. Like Ukraine, I could see maybe wanting a local production, especially local people to know where to go. But I mean, other places where it's easy to get around, it's more touristy. Who knows? I don't know. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I should ask one of my contacts and see if they can give me that. I've never really asked them that question before. But
Right.
We'll see.
no, I say go for it. So yeah, that's all we have for Dave and Lana. They kind of teased us with the preview episode, so many people are still confused about this. But TLC puts out the first hour of the 2-hour episode during the week. And this time they put the preview out as usual, but they left out that first 10-minute segment with Dave opening the door. So when I saw it on Sunday, I was like, what am I watching? And did I miss the first hour?
Because you thought you'd already watched the first hour, but...
And they added this one along with an extra hour. This Sunday night composed of 3 hours.
Episode.
But one of those hours were commercials. No lie.
The never-ending
it.
episode.
They're commercials. So
oh my gosh.
they gave the sponsors more airtime. Maybe that's what they owed them. But
maybe.
Yeah, that's all for them.
So that takes us over to Nigeria. And, that was a really terrible transition. Sorry. So Lisa and Usman are in Nigeria. And I don't remember what else happened with them except for that mommy finally gave the blessing.
Well, so
they talked about power structure of their marriage.
They talked a little bit. So, it's another scene. Like, they like to start Usman and Lisa's scenes with them, like, waking up in the morning and getting ready to go somewhere. And so this is like, someone had said it and I forgot where, but Lisa sounds like a mafia person. Like, we need to get this. We need to get this now, like this morning, right now. And it's like, okay, we get the urgency. So they make their special trip to go see, as everyone cringes, mommy, and try one more time to get her blessing. And she thinks for all about maybe 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. And then she gives their blessing. I mean, he kind of, shoots the case out of I'm going to have better opportunities. Jobs are going to be better. I'm like, did mommy really need to think about this? Like,
yeah, no,
did she really need to think about it? I don't think she did. I kind of feel like she gave her blessing right away. And
they needed drama. They needed something.
Right.
Besides because their own conflict, the conflict between Lisa and Usman themselves.
They have to have this whole, like, I need the blessing or whatever. Because I'm like, it wasn't, it was a big point for Angela's story, but Angela fucking got that shit with, like, flying colors. Like, she didn't even have to really work at it. She's just, right? She's like,
she was dancing with the family and everything.
God. You get this far in Lisa and Usman's story, and you're like, I actually think I liked Angela and Michael's story a little bit better. Like, it was it was more uplifting. Like, they're both like controlling women, but like Angela did it a little more, I'm going to say it, classier.
She is the classiest, trashiest bitch you'll ever meet. She wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong. And so, like, we now we have Lisa and Usman, and it just smells so fake. Like, even Usman's like, I'll do anything to get to America. Like, it came out of his lips on the show, and I'm like, well,
that's not the first time that's been said. He's
being
said that
transparent, though. He's being completely transparent, and I don't blame him for that. But, the whole, we need mommy's blessing, and then after they get her blessing, what were they eating? Because I wanted it. It was like mango or some kind of delicious yellow
the
fruit.
Yeah.
That looked really good. Of course, I was starving at the time. I'm like,
I'll take market where they get the fruit. Yeah, super fresh.
And he's like, now that we have approval, and now that we're gonna get married, he's like, trying to change the dynamic and remind her that in his culture
the
that
man.
she is immersing herself into, he is the
Alpha.
he's the alpha and the end, so that didn't go over too well with her. So we have this happy scene and it ends with her walking away, giving him the finger.
Which, okay, so he tells her that he needs to be in charge and she needs to not be controlling. And she's like, no, I'm in charge. And you telling me that you're going to be in charge is disrespectful. So if it's disrespectful for him to say, I'm in charge, then it's just as disrespectful for her to say, no, I'm in charge. No? Right? It's okay so in Lisa's eyes, it's okay for her to assert her personality and be the alpha. But if Usman tries to do it, it's disrespectful to her. Which, by the way, everything is disrespectful to Lisa in her eyes.
Right. Well, I think more of her focus was that she doesn't want to be told what to do ever. Like, she's really, like you said, she's really good at, dishing out orders. But when it turns around and someone's telling her to do something, that's where it doesn't jive with her. So you would think that she'd kind of know this already, right? Like,
That's not fair.
she seems to be really sort of in touch with the culture and respecting to, like, you never saw her complaining about wearing a piece over her hair or
dress.
a shawl or a scarf.
Yeah.
You never saw her,
And she kept her mouth shut.
She didn't talk. She
during,
respected the brother. And then this is like the little last piece that he's like, I have to assert my fucking dominance, or like, not going to say I'm going to be laughed at, but he's like, everybody's like, your wife cannot be running all over you. Like, you're not a true, as he says, Hausa at the time.
Their culture, yeah.
That doesn't fly. So, so now we have the tension of, is there going to be a wedding now? Because now it's kind of like, there's always something to piss her off right before the wedding, right?
Right, but we know that they do get married because we've seen the video and the pictures that came out long before the season even aired.
Right, we know they're getting married, but they have to add a little drama to the people that don't know that, right?
Right, correct. Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah. So,
but we know they get married.
We know.
And she doesn't stop being controlling. I don't think. No,
because she's still like that.
She's still a hot
He's
pepper
not
on
getting to
social
America.
media. Ooh, I don't know.
God, and
yeah, with all the stuff that's
he's
happening,
not coming to America.
Yeah, with all the stuff that's happening,
Well,
don't see that happening with the ban, the other ban.
Yeah, the travel ban. Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yep.
Maybe it can be the other way opportunity for Lisa.
Oh,
she can start a hotel business there and show them what a 5-star hotel looks like.
Oh my gosh.
The baby girl Lisa terrible. Inn. The baby girl inn. Baby girl hotel. I'm feeling it. I think that's a great opportunity for her. Take her TLC money and build a hotel in Nigeria and just
go build it.
Live off of it.
She and Angela could run it.
I don't know if Angela wants anything to do with her.
Their men are different.
Yeah.
And their men are in different parts of Nigeria.
Total different culture, yeah. They'd be like, nah, no.
They're different, like opposite ends almost even, right?
Dude. Yeah. Nigeria is big, and people don't know it. It's filled with states, so, like...
Right.
It's not just the same flat piece of land.
Not everybody knows each other there just because it's Nigeria.
Right. Speaking of flat pieces of land, can we go to Connecticut? Is that flat?
Oh, yes.
That's pretty flat, right?
Yeah,
I've been there once.
And it's small.
And I didn't see any mountains. Which is odd for an Arizonan person because mountains are everywhere. When we go over to the East Coast, we're like, what the hell are we? Where are your mountains at? They're like, what are mountains?
Darcy and Stacy's house, which appears to me to be an Airbnb.
You think so?
There's nothing personal. Well, there was no personal effects there.
It's Darcy.
There's no,
all her personal effects are on her face.
But pictures of her kids, nothing.
No.
Her girls,
no.
We need to compare the inside of that house to the TikTok videos that Darcy's always posting with her daughters and see if we can make a comparison.
Is that really Darcy's house? It's, well, you know, who knows? Everything about, like, I don't know. Darcy screams like high end, but even like her Louis Vuitton bag is...
Everything's fake.
It's fake.
Which is like, no, I'm not knocking any. If you want, you know, you get yourself your fake Louis Vuitton, your fake, you know, Christian Louis Vuitton shoes, red bottoms. Like, hey, I'm all for it, you guys. Like, go for it. But yeah, Darcy and her always try to give this air of elegance and glamour, and doesn't quite get there. Just like doesn't just fall a little bit short, but falls a lot short. Speaking of, maybe we can get to this in the social media roundup, but the pictures that Darcy and Stacey are posting right now, all the terrible Photoshop pictures.
Oh my God. Okay.
Right.
So
want to talk about it now?
Yeah, why not? Because it fits in, but like, I think they're trolling us. I don't think that they're serious about this. Like,
I think so too, because
like they've been doing this for a little bit.
Bad. Okay, so for those of you guys who are not on the gram, as Yolanda calls it, Darcy and Stacey have been posting these pictures of themselves with like their faces badly photoshopped onto the bodies of these other easily findable. That's not a word. Easily seen. Like you can find these other pictures of other models, actresses. I wouldn't say necessarily like famous model pictures, but you can find without a lot of hard work, right?
Right.
The originals. So back when Tom was posting all these fake pictures on Instagram, these pictures were real pictures that just weren't his. He stole them from other people's Instagram. It's almost like that, but they're photoshopping themselves onto these pictures.
Right.
And it's really, really obvious that they're photoshopping themselves onto this. So the first one came out and everyone was like, oh, Darcy, that's just really bad. But then there was another one that came out that was Darcy and Stacey. And I'm like, okay, they're just trolling us now. And then there was another one that comes out. They keep putting these things out, and it's clear that they're fake. And some of them, I wouldn't call them iconic pictures, but some of them are relatively well-known pictures. And she's photoshopping her head into them. So my theory is that they're completely punking us on this, and they're just trying to drum up conversation about them, and they're going to get ready to launch their spin-off series.
Yeah, which is just really weird. And if their spin-off is about Photoshop pictures, I mean, I guess I'm not catching like what they're really trying to do with them besides
I think just drum up
fun or
attention.
Probably. I mean, they don't need to drum up attention. Like, everyone is looking at them. They have the people's attention. Like, you don't need to generate more. We're good. We see you. We see you, Darcy. We see you, Stacey. We got it. Stop photoshopping. Like, they were photoshopping their own photos at first, and now it's kind of absurd. But my boyfriend gets a kick out of them. Love hates the badly photoshopped shit. So
right.
I just let him see it, and he's
a
like,
graphics
"What?"
guy.
Yeah, he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "They're not even trying. They're trolling. They're not trying." So
absolutely,
yeah. So crazy.
So anyway, that's what's happening with Darcy and Stacey. So going back to their house, I really feel like we need to compare the TikToks that Darcy's been posting with her daughters, see if we can compare it to the insides we see on this episode, because I am not convinced that's actually the house that they live in.
Probably not, but I mean, and maybe for just recording purposes, that's what they chose. Because, I mean, I probably wouldn't want to put my real TV on the show anyways, because we know what kind of followers 90 Day Fiance has. But aside from that, I feel like all this was filmed on the same day. By what Darcy is wearing still when Tom goes to see her. Did you notice?
Oh, that like they both drove to Connecticut the same day?
Yeah, like she leaves,
which is the next day after their coffee.
Yeah, but she's wearing like the same outfit, or maybe she's wearing a similar outfit. Maybe all the outfits look the same, but it looks like it looks like she's wearing the same outfit that she left the hotel in, that she went to go meet.
That tank top that she's wearing
with the high-waisted green pants that she's
and her
like
nipples coming out of the tank top that they had to blur.
I know, but that gives us confirmation that she has nipples. Remember, there's a rumor that she didn't have any. They had to blur something out, so they are there. She has them.
There's areola there.
Yeah, debate closed. I didn't think about her body parts.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so it looks like she's wearing the same outfit that she left the hotel with, that she met Stacy with, and then she's at home unpacking, and all this time, like, Tom takes an Uber? I know it's probably the production car, but he takes like all the way to what? Why? And then it's so bad.
New York City borders. I mean, it borders Connecticut. So
I know they're all friends over there. You can drive from like Jersey to New York to DC in one day,
right?
But it's just that's still a lot of money, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Take a car to deliver a letter. He could have mailed that shit.
It's a 2-hour drive. It's a 2-hour drive from Middlebury, Connecticut to New York.
I guess that's not terrible. I drive that every day. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's such a scene to like. They're really trying to just keep their story going, and it's not even a before the 90 days story. Like, it's just Darcy and Tom inserted in random places to take up space. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how people are feeling at Tom bringing this letter to Darcy. Like we have split, right? We have Team Tom, Team Darcy, and Team Tom is like...
People are still mad at Tom for his comment about her weight. Right. And I don't know, some people have gotten over that. Some people have not. Some people, just said, okay, well, chalk it up to, either bad editing or, I mean, the words came out of his mouth regardless of how it was edited, right? So I understand that maybe it wasn't in the original context. It might have been there's a lot of things that could, I won't say excuse what he said, but would make what he said make more sense. But in any case, the words did still come out of his mouth. And a lot of people haven't forgiven him for that. So a lot of people are Team Darcy just because they can't be Team Tom right now, right?
That sounds very political, but yes, I see what you mean.
But a lot of people aren't Team Darcy either because they think she's just a hot mess and just throws herself at men that aren't right for her, and that she did the same thing with Tom. So...
I'm on team. Can we just move the fuck on? Because, like, the story is done. Like, it's going to keep going, though. So he gives her a letter that she doesn't accept. So he ends up sticking it in the car window and leaving. And
right.
He says some interesting things as he leaves, kind of like she's going to wake up, 50-something and realize she's all alone. And I was like, dang, he is like, I don't want to say he is not bipolar, but his emotions are bipolar. It's like, I really love her. She needs to hear what I have to say. And then all of a sudden it's like, fuck that bitch. I'm out. I'm going to go post more memes about her on Instagram because fuck it.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to go apologize to her because the conversation didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and well, fuck her.
Sorry for calling you fat. Then he should have brought her sweets. He should have brought her food.
Here's a box of chocolates
to add salt to the wound. But he leaves. He's gone, and then in dramatic fashion, Darcy and Stacy have to get rid of the letter and put it in recycling because it is tainted. And I think everyone's reaction... She doesn't want that energy in the house. She doesn't want the energy in the house. And we're all just like, well, what did the letter say? Like, Tom stayed up to write this letter, and you just recycled it. We know her ass is back out there putting all those pieces together while Stacy is sleeping to see what Tom said. She is not the type of person that cannot read something like that. Like,
there's no way.
Head first in there, putting it back together.
To see what it said.
Right. And that's where we leave them in the trash. Everything's in the trash with them.
Everything's in the trash, including their relationship, including Tom's reputation.
Go back inside, make some TikToks.
But she'll find love someday because her heart is open.
Her heart is open. She believes in love. Sure. Okay. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're still
She's
going to
strong.
have them on the next episodes because
What else can we do with them? We've
Not
already dragged
film
their
them anymore.
one-day story out.
I think we're done. They didn't make it. And maybe what we're going to get is her, because I think rumors have come out that she is actually dating someone else, but those are always rumors because she takes a picture with the guy and then she's dating him. But a lot of the times I think it's for her to show off to Jesse and Tom that she has more man in her life.
Yeah, I haven't seen any current pictures. There's been rumors about her with this Bulgarian
that
massage
guy.
therapist. But that's the same guy from like pre-Super Bowl meeting in Miami. I don't know if that's still going on or if people are like just now seeing some of those pictures and equating the two and saying, oh, they're together. And I don't know because that guy lives and works in Washington, D.C.
Oh.
So I don't know. When she's dating someone, her version of dating is talking to him online for 4 years.
One thing
right?
with Darcy is it seems like the long distance relationship works until she meets them. After she meets them, it almost seems like there's an expectation for them to like physically appear all the time. Whereas like long distance was fine, but like right before she met Tom, like she seemed to be fine with a long distance relationship or whatever they had. And as soon as she met him, it wasn't enough when she came back. So whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with them. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
I think we should talk about Ed and Rosemary next.
Oh, sure. Why not? Ed, that piece of shit motherfucker.
Dude.
Where do we start with him?
We start with him giving Rosemary freaking toothpaste and a kid's toothbrush.
Oh, my God. And the way he talks to her and that look on his face, like, don't be mad at me, but your breath really stinks. And here, I brought you a present. And it's like...
Well, he's like, I really care about your health and blah, blah, blah. And okay, to some
and
point...
that's all bullshit.
To some point, it's true. Bad teeth usually equals bad health, bad infections.
That's not what... That is not why he's saying it to her. He's just using that as a cover up. You can tell the look on his face, this looking down but looking up when his eyebrows are up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't hate me, but I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna be passive aggressive here.
He's more like, I don't like the kind of toothpaste you're using, so if you could use this scope with the extra mint birth crystals because it just makes breath smell so good. I think he's just a guy that has to have like perfection around him, like good smells, good coffee. He's the guy with the cafe with the sunglasses with like, the well-mayoed hair. But one thing I noticed was that, and I posted this, he's packing all these things for Prince when he's about to leave. And one of the things he's packing is this toothpaste and this kid's toothbrush. Like he gives her a toothbrush meant for toddlers. If you look at that, it's like a little Colgate kid spin brush or whatever. He packed that for Prince. We never see him give these gifts that he packed to Prince. Like that may have been done off camera, but like he pretty much pushes that kid aside so he can go on his, extravagant vacation with Rose. And give her the kid's toothbrush.
Oh, God.
Like at least give her an adult toothbrush. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm picking at that, but it just annoyed me because, like, then she says, it's because I have an ulcer. And then it seemed like his whole care for her health dropped because I would have been like, oh my God, like, usually get ulcers from what? Stress and maybe digestional issues. Like, it doesn't seem like his care for her health.
Yeah, and probably not very good medical care where she lives.
Right. But none of that carried over, like, to his concern of, like,
that's
oh,
why
no.
it's all just a ruse. It's just bullshit.
Like, maybe medicine for you. What are you doing to get that help? Like, wow, your stomach is bleeding. That could be a lot worse than, just bad breath and putting on this Teddy, which is also the name of my dog. How many people cringed at that? Like, I was like, say what? What? Why did you have to mention your dog when giving your girlfriend sexy lingerie?
He's so gross. He is so gross. I can't handle it. Here's some toothpaste because I care about your health. She tells him her actual health condition. He doesn't actually care about that and gives her a teddy. Here. And she's like, what's that?
Gives her a teddy. So this is kind of touching social media, but Rose, we talked about this last time, came on Instagram Live, which was caught by a lot of people, and was talking about how Ed has given her nothing but bra and panties. And, like, you see this here, right? Like, he's giving her a bathing suit, underwear that if you zoom in looks way too big for her, and this teddy. And, like... Does he give her anything else that actually makes sense
for her
as a gift
versus for him?
Yeah, because the things he's giving her is like, oh yeah, I want you to feel sexy, but I want you to feel sexy for me kind of thing. It's like he's dressing up a doll.
Yes.
If we go that far.
And like I said on prior episodes, she's not your fucking blow-up doll. But that's how he treats her. And he has this sense of entitlement like, well, I'm paying for all of this. I'm paying to get you out of here. You're going to get engaged to me and come to the United States. Therefore, you owe me and I can do whatever I want with buying this person.
Well, and he's allowed
That's
to be
how he acts.
Skeptical of her. But, so, like, they go on... I don't even know what to call this. They go on an excursion. Like, he plans some fun outdoor things, but I don't think Ed's an outdoors guy. Like,
no.
He's
not. Why
he's
did
California
they do this?
outdoors, which is taking your scooter to the cafe kind of outdoors. But as soon as he's like in nature, he's like freaking out and like I'm pretty sure this was planted. The bag, the monkey like attacks and all that stuff. Quickly makes him go, oh my God, outdoors scary. Let's go back to the hotel where it's safe.
Oh no!
Back in.
It's outside. I'm getting too much outside on me.
Let's go have dinner so I can go insult you more. Was basically kind of it. So like, so this is where this is where I get annoyed at the dinner scene because I'm the type of person.
This is where you get annoyed. This is just where it starts.
This is where I get to my maximum annoyance with him because he's talking to her, he's being really sweet, he's saying how special everything is, and then he lays out a list of what like he expects out of the relationship. Now we know his history of him cheating on his ex-wife. We don't know the details of it, but he was the person who was adulterous in that situation. But he's laying out this like, I want honesty, I want someone that loves me no matter what, blah 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 blah. And then she goes, okay, do you want that with me? And he's like, well, I'm not quite sure. And she's like, but why not? He goes, oh, dinner's here. Actually, can we eat before She has an ulcer. This is why. Because she is stressing out about shit because he's like, actually, can we just wait? Like, no, she was right. Tell me now. No, not after dinner. You don't say we need to talk in a text and then not fucking talk to me. We need to talk about something.
The fact that you want kids and I want a vasectomy, which is kind of a big deal. Should have talked about before she got invested and you got invested or whatever, and you came over there.
I don't know.
Go on. With
I don't know
how
real that is because every time she talks about kids, it seems like it's a prompt, like, "Oh, and 2 kids with you, Ed," and I want, as Nicole says, the babies.
The babies.
But
babies.
This is another thing of why didn't they talk about this shit before getting too far in a relationship? I think the topic of kids is usually talked about, I don't know, before you consider marriage, I'm assuming. I'm not sure how that goes because,
it was talked about in my relationships before marriage. I'll say that.
Right.
That expectation was very clear before, had a life mate and I got serious. That
And why is he waiting until now? Why is he waiting until now to get snipped? He had 28 years to consider, right? He said 28 years, no relationship?
Allegedly.
He had that to consider. Well, being in a relationship and having sex with random people, I guess there's the line there. But I probably would have got fixed a long time ago. Like, why did he wait until he found someone new to decide to get the procedure done?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That just is weird. Like, I wouldn't wait until I found somebody. I would be like, I just can't have kids, so take me or leave me. Who knows?
Yeah. That should have been something he talked about. And he's sitting there talking about, well, I have to make sure she's in it for true love. And yet he's got all these conditions, this and that. No, well, she needs to take an STD test. Well, she needs to do this to prove her love. Oh, she needs to shave her legs. Oh, she needs to brush her teeth. Oh, she needs to do this. She needs to prove to me that she's in love with me. Oh, and I have, I don't want any more kids, and I haven't told her this yet. And I want this and this. Shut up, Ed. Just shut up.
Or he hasn't told her about how he feels towards her sister asking for money, which I don't know why he's holding that over her head, because I feel like if Rose wanted or needed money...
That's a great way to describe it.
But he is like, and she doesn't even know about it. He's just like, he just has this this thought in the back of his mind, like, she probably doesn't really love me because she asked me for money. I was like, you see her living conditions. You see your living conditions. Like, I'm not saying it's appropriate for her to ask for money, but he shouldn't be so, like, pearl clutching over it. Like,
I know.
You sent the family a grill. Maybe they just wanted cash instead. I don't know. Like, they need to buy the shit to grill on. Maybe they wanted to buy
food. I know why they need food.
I think they have many things to cook the food out there. They just need the fucking food. Like, she can't eat all the chickens. I
can't with him. I can't. He's terrible.
So, another, dinner scene that's ruined, but, I don't know. Ed seems to be really good indoors as opposed to outdoors. And
indoors. Well, he's never slept a night without air conditioning, except for that one at Rose's.
I could believe that, especially where he's from.
Yeah.
Like, I can say for sure, like, I've had a couple nights without AC in Arizona, 120-degree weather, but that's just because it busted. It was quite miserable, but, you really have an appreciation for advanced technology after things like that. But yeah, he's just a little pampered and doesn't like to be outdoors, but whatever.
Yeah. He's just he's just gross. Shut up, Ed. Shut up, Ed. And then in contrast to them, you have Stephanie and Erica who kissed and made up this episode.
I know. They were outdoors and they liked it. They went to the botanical garden, which
although Stephanie was
she was overdressed.
Knowing that she was going to the botanical gardens, like, she may not have thought they were going to go for like a big hike or something, but still, you're going to a botanical gardens, you're probably going to walk around. Maybe those weren't the most appropriate shoes to wear.
Well, we all know TLC probably dressed her for that reason. Like,
yeah, that's true.
They probably were like, yeah, we're high heels, Stephanie. You see the look on Erica's face when she starts walking towards her, like, this bitch should not come in high heels. She goes, wanna walk?
Let's take a walk.
Let's take a walk. You can see Stephanie's face like, a walk, huh? Okay, all right.
All right.
That's short-lived, but,
I've already pissed Erica off enough. Let me not say no to this.
Like, you better walk, girl. You better feel some pain to atone. But they have a conversation that I think everyone was thinking about is, why didn't you talk about this stuff before you went to Australia? And Erica's saying that she knew about, like, all the stuff with her friends before she came out. And so that brings the point of, you knew about this stuff, but now she's making a big deal about it. And it's like, is it because now it's real? Because when she was talking to her on the phone, was it just, yeah, I'm talking to Erica without real intentions of ever meeting her. And now that you have met her, you're like, whoa, I actually have to consider all these things that she has done. All that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, Erica's like, she feels frustrated because she feels like Stephanie should have had a conversation with her about this before she flew over.
Register.
If she was uncomfortable with all of these things about her that she knew about, why didn't she say something?
Because communication has been the downfall of their entire storyline.
Do you think that's on Erica or Stephanie, or does it matter?
It's on both
Or
of them. There is no fault.
Okay.
There is no fault in this. It's on both of them for not communicating more effectively.
All right.
I take no sides.
I've been accused of being too pro Erica. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like to read the situation. I mean, where we have the on-screen stuff with them, we don't really have insight on, what really happened between them. But from what you see on the show,
yeah,
it is a lot of communication issues. It's a lot of trust issues on Stephanie's part, and maybe a little bit of inconsideration from Erica's part. Both of those things. Mm-hmm. Introducing a jealous person to someone you, quote unquote, had intimacy, whatever we consider intimacy nowadays, things like that. But there'd be no drama if they effectively communicated, right? So that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's why we're having conflict. And I feel like Stephanie maybe she didn't know she had a problem with it till, like you said, till she was confronted with it and became real.
Exactly. So the fun part is that after it's seeming, I'm believing that this is Stephanie's way of saying I'm sorry. She says she wants to restart. Erica accepts. Then they go to throw a damn boomerang.
Well, because it's Australia, of course they have to.
Oh, that was so funny though. Like.
They got to.
I don't even know if I could throw one of those things. Oh my God, it was hilarious. But Erica is just having a blast laughing at Stephanie trying to throw this fucking thing.
It was amusing.
And
I can't say I would do any better.
I don't think I would either. Like Frisbee, like that's for me enough. Like strategy tossing of objects that I can do.
It's difficult. Yeah.
And even then, I'm not doing too hot. So I give her props for trying. I died laughing when she called Erica her special friend.
Yeah, at her parents.
I was like, special friend. That's a way to put it.
All right, she's my very special friend.
That just reads, it's my girlfriend, her special friend.
So I am getting a text message right now from my good friend Mary Payne Gilbert of Pain in the Pod and Pink Shade with Aaron Martin, asking me what was the name of Sweet Blank from the Yolanda Williams.
We'll get to Sweet Blank.
She says sweet tits, sweet ass, sweet bitch.
I'm guessing sweet pussy, but yeah. Did we want to speak about Yolanda?
Sure.
And her sweet pussy? Not hers.
I mean, hers. Oh, God, gross.
Not hers.
Okay.
But her text messages from sweet put. Oh, my God.
So you think it's sweet pussy?
I'm just trying to think of what would have to be blurred. Like
sweet tits, sweet ass, sweet bitch, sweet.
I don't know. Like I wasn't going to zoom in too close to try to make out blurred words. Because, like, we all know that this shit is fake. So, just, like, she comes saying that this person is, like, contacting, saying they know Williams. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, this person has to talk for Williams. Like, if you're texting, pick up the phone and call sweet whatever the fuck her name is. And be like, where is Williams at? Like,
what's
happening?
I don't get it.
Like the story is just getting so unbelievable. It's been unbelievable, but it's to the point where it's like, really?
It's getting worse. And her kids try to tell her it's a scam, and she doesn't believe that it's a scam. And then they talk about the reverse image search, right?
Which we don't even get the results of, do we? Like,
I don't know, but
this is our cliffhanger. They don't give us the results.
yeah, and
We know what the results are.
Yeah, and the word is like the pictures that we are shown of this McCallie guy. The pictures that we're shown aren't even the pictures that she actually received that are allegedly Williams.
Right, which is believable because
They couldn't get the rights
I'm
to the
pretty
actual
sure they
pictures.
couldn't get right to the actual pictures. So if they were just using some random dude's pictures, they
So-
can't just put that on TV.
So the picture. So what we're told is Williams. Oh, this is who Yolanda thinks is Williams. That's not even accurate because she was actually shown in different pictures, but this was the closest TLC could find and get rights to.
Which happened to be another debacle with, an Italian bodybuilder who thought his identity was being stolen, but feels better now knowing it's just a show, but like,
Yeah.
still pretty creepy for him. But yeah, so Yolanda has this conversation, and it's so weird because she's like saying, I talked to Williams this morning, and then she's like, oh, you talked to him? She goes, well, no, I didn't really talk to him. It's like, okay, well,
Well, what did you do?
even the kids are perplexed. Like, why the fuck are you even bothering with this? Like,
Yeah.
no one is this dumb. No
Yeah.
one is this dumb. I
And
don't buy
she
it.
is such a bad
maybe
actor. She's so
Yeah,
bad.
she may be spacey, but she has to have more mental capacity than this. Like,
yeah. Like if she was really this as dumb as she's trying to pretend that she is, she would need to be in a home. Like and have someone tie her shoes for her because this and she's so bad at this. The acting. Well, I don't know. Maybe he was hacked. Oh, look, see? Sweet is telling me he was hacked. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't
sweet,
with her.
sweet bleep. We're gonna call her sweet bleep.
Sweet bleep. Okay.
Sweet bleep. But yeah, I mean that's as far as we get with Yolanda's story because they're giving us little pieces by pieces because I think they had to stretch out her non-story.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to England. Like we have a couple episodes left. I doubt she's getting on a plane to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I am interested to see what resolution we get
What
from this
nonsense
via
we
the
get?
show.
Yeah.
What we don't get because if this doesn't work out, like we need to sign Yolanda up for Ash's seminar.
Which one? His fake seminars or his real seminars?
Why don't we get into that?
Yeah. So you guys,
I think we're done with Yolanda.
the seminar that we see on the show that Ash is conducting, 100% fake. Okay, so let's just get that out there. Like our sources in production have confirmed, multiple sources have confirmed that seminar was completely TLC setup. One of the participants of the seminar came out and essentially said as much as well. We've gotten multiple sources saying that this was a complete setup. So we did some looking into it. Ash has done seminars. So this isn't like he hasn't done seminars before, but his seminars have been different. There haven't been many of them, and they've been sort of different audiences and different topics. He does more like talks on podcasts and things like that. But
Right. And he's usually co with somebody. It doesn't seem like he's ever running his own seminar. He doesn't have a seminar series like some people do.
and he doesn't have one called Finding Mr. Right, which is the title of this one. So
No, it was so bad.
I know. So the other thing people are talking about is the content of this seminar. And this, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, our brains are different and whatever.
Right.
And yes, I mean, obviously he said those things. But what we understand is from our sources is that this was actually, he spoke for over like 2 hours. And so the end result that we see is a lot of spliced together words and sentences that are spliced together to make it sound as sexist as possible. Now, he does have certain beliefs that are different than Avery's on like masculinity and femininity that, you know, Avery may not see eye to eye on, but that is like sort of different. Like what we see is they spliced stuff together. Things that he was saying, sentences that he was saying that are completely out of context and out of their original sentences, spliced together to sound as sexist as they made him sound.
Exactly. So one of the talks, so it seems like because people think like he's just stealing,
because a lot of
stealing
this material,
content, but a lot of these materials are from really well-known speakers that have gone and done these same type of talks. So I think one was really popular. I think TED Talks is where I first heard it, where Ash is kind of feeding off of I forgot the guy's name, that talks about the nothing box that men have that women don't. If you were to splice that talk apart, like they probably did for Ash's seminar, it would come off as extremely sexist. When you listen to the entire thing, you go, okay, that makes sense.
I see
so
what
that was
the
kind
point
of like
he's trying to make. The point he's making.
Right.
Yeah.
The point is that in a short, too long, didn't read is women's minds. We think, not going to say a little bit more than men because it's generalizing, but some men have the ability to do absolutely nothing in their head, with their body, nothing. They're still alive. But they can't do anything. They just don't. And my boyfriend and I talk about it all the time because he says, yes, I have a nothing box. I'm like, how can you just sit and think about nothing? Like,
Whereas women's minds are always going on something.
Always thinking about something. And then there's personalities too. Like a whole lot feeds into, you know, it's not just women versus men. It's this personality versus this personality, this type of energy, blah, 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 blah. You can go all into it. But they really did him a disservice by chopping it up because it just made him come off as a dick, a sexist dick. And even the people in the audience, it was like 10 people. That was a really small seminar.
Yeah,
That
well,
was probably,
when TLC
that was probably
is just,
casted for.
Right.
Like,
when TLC is just pulling people off the street and throwing them in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because, okay, so that's another thing, too, is that when you have people come into a seminar like that, they have to be of the mind. Like, you can't just bring in random people and say, hey, do you want to watch this seminar about finding Mr. Right? Like, they found some of the hardest women to try and
impress.
To try and impress and convince. So, and one of the women that was really popular, what was her name? Alex, I think they said her name was.
Right. And she's one that came out on Reddit saying.
On Reddit and Instagram, kind of giving the hint of, you know, she is actually a musician from a band called Purple Jesus.
Purple Jesus.
Purple Jesus. I'm like, I'm going to listen to that later. But yeah, everything about that was so fake and it just, I don't know.
Yeah. So everybody is like attacking Ash, and you know I can see why you want to attack Ash, and I'm not necessarily like defending
him
because you know the words do come out of his mouth, but when they are spliced the way that they are, taken out of context and sort of rejumbled up to make it sound the way that it did, and when they cut over, you know, 90% of what was said during it, you know, obviously you can't show a 2-hour seminar, but they, you know, splice it to give them the most, you know, sexist opportunities as possible. That's what, you know, it's what you get, right? So it's not entirely just Ash being a dumb shit up there going, it was not a seminar that he had planned and advertised. It was TLC wants to see him at work and further this. Single women are trying to throw themselves at Ash and Avery doesn't like it storyline.
Right. But, you know, that's just how it goes.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
And that's what we're here for, is to find this stuff out for you.
But it's nice to know because I'm like, you see all of his talks. Like Ash has done some crazy Instagram videos. I think one was like, strengthening your hip flexors to be a stallion in bed. So like he has some very interesting content. Yes. But he's never like, him coming off as not sure of himself is just kind of, I don't know, it was kind of a stretch. But.
Yeah. He talks, you can see on Instagram, he talks for a living. He can pull shit out of his boo hole, no problem. So yeah, this was designed to make him look incompetent and sexist. So possibly
and
more.
That's the tea.
And that's the tea.
And that's the show. I think we covered everyone in the show.
I think we did. Everyone that's on the show. Self-quarantine show edition. Thoughts in general?
Are you still liking it?
I am enjoying it because I like that they're bite-sized pieces of just catching up with some people. In one sense, it's like, oh, you can tell why they have producers because they need some people need to be produced.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
we don't like the overproduced stuff, but some people really need to be produced, and there's a reason there's producers on this show.
Right, like this is like reminding all fans what producers do.
Right. So what we're watching is basically all these old cast members going live on Instagram and just talking and rambling and going, like, okay, Matt and Alla. Like who? Does anybody remember them from their season? They're just as boring now as they were then.
I thought I was the only person that didn't, like, because I'm really bad at remembering the past cast.
I think they were
so many to remember.
4. They were relatively uninteresting. It was like their biggest things were like Matt had a kid or she had a kid from a previous relationship, and Matt's brother didn't like Alla and thought she was just using him for a green card, which, is sort of typical trope. But they were relatively uninteresting on their season, which I believe is season 4, and just as boring now. Right. He's living in a trailer because he is exposed to stuff, and she doesn't want him to bring any germs into the house, which is completely understandable. It did irritate me how irritated he got about it. Like, my wife doesn't think I should come into the house and expose them to germs. I'm like, I'm the same way. I don't want Hetero Life Mate to go out to the go work at the studio and possibly get in contact with stuff and bring it home to me because of my immunosuppression. So him being all and snitty about her not wanting him to bring the bugs in, like that irritated me, but that's just because I have a personal connection to it,
Probably, but I think what they're trying to play on is I believe that these are real because the people are live streaming it, but I think they're kind of playing up some of these little mini stories to try and touch familiarity with the people who are watching. So yeah, there's probably a pregnant woman who watches the show who doesn't want her husband to come home. And I think they're just trying to find connections so that people can, personally connect with these 90 cast members or whatever.
90 cast members, yeah.
That are just going through the same thing that they are. So the only one that I don't know if people can really relate to is it George?
George.
I was going to call him Jorge because I
know
a Jorge.
He called himself George.
Okay, that's all I want to know is what does he call himself? Calls himself George. Mm-hmm. He is in jail. He is in jail really, really close to where I frequent a lot. So
I told you this a long time ago. We were talking about George. I was like, he's near you.
He's near me, and I've been inside that jail a few times. So
do I want to ask why?
Not as a prisoner. But it's interesting. I'm like, God, he got fucking caught in Arizona. Like, it is hot. And he's lucky they don't do Tent City. I don't think Tent City is as intense as it used to be. It's under new management, we'll say.
Once Joe Arpaio got removed.
Right. But So an inside of like Tent City is to like be able to watch television. Someone had to like ride a bike, and the television would work.
I remember that.
If you wanted a fan, you have to ride the bike to get the fan going. So I'm like, no wonder he lost weight. He wanted TV and a fan. I'd be working my ass too.
But I don't know if he was in the Tent City or in a cell because we've seen interviews. I don't think he was in Tent City because we've seen interviews with him. Or the one interview he did where he talks about stuff in his cellmates and stuff. So I'm thinking he might be in one of the inside areas.
Right. Tent City is kind of for short term, I believe. It's like for people who are doing their weekend, you know, where you work during the week and you go to jail on the weekend and you like, I don't know, sit around
versus
in a tent
is
all
he's
day on the
in
weekend.
he's in prison versus jail.
Right.
So they're different facilities. So yeah.
But, you know, the things he's saying kind of like, so I'll be quick for the sake of time, but just kind of the things he says, like jail is hard. It's like, check.
Yeah,
no
it was
shit.
hilarious.
And then he talks about like Anfisa not really supporting him. And I feel like they were trying to make her look like a woman who abandoned her guy in jail. Mm-hmm. But is it her job to wait for him? Like, he got himself in jail.
Well, I mean, some people
don't know
would
how
think,
much you can blame her. The relationship wasn't great to begin with.
Right. Some people would think, you know, depends on your position, right? Everyone's mileage may vary on this. Some people would be like, well, she's his wife. If she really loves him, she'll be his ride or die, and she'll wait for him.
Right.
But then other people
Correct, yeah.
are going to be like, you know, she has every right to, you know, to peace out. If she doesn't want to wait, you know?
Well, she pretty much was like, you need to provide me with the things you said you could, and if you don't, I'm out. And you can't provide those things in jail. Yeah. She needs nice things, right? So,
And we've posted pictures of her with her new boo, and it appears that that's how George found out. She looks
good.
Also.
Like, she's working on herself. She's going to college. She's gotten like a certificate in training. She's not just sitting around doing nothing. She's literally working her ass off or working her ass up. Wow,
whatever you want. Yeah, no kidding, right?
But to make her look like she was just a cold-hearted bitch that like left him as soon as he got locked up, it's like, dude, some things are not meant to be, and some tests are what lets you realize that, like. You know, even he said he needs to be a better person for himself. I'm like, work on you, George.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be
good.
He didn't seem to be like blaming Anfisa necessarily.
No, it was just the tone of it that was kind of like, you know, she left me, she found someone new. I'm just rotting in jail here for 18 months.
Yeah, so he's due to get out any day. Well, yeah, in the middle of this. So I don't know when they filmed that, but he said like 26 days, and I don't know when that was filmed.
They'll probably expedite it, and I would hope that he takes time for himself before jumping onto social media or doing any kind of
He
anything.
started going through like a friend on social media, like sending messages out. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take any break because he's already like his friend posting, hey, George here, you know.
Well, he'll probably be happy to get out. Like, he's going to have a phone. He'll be like, I'm doing everything right now. I don't care. I've had a break. I've been in jail. But the mental space, you know, I wish the best for him.
Yeah, I do too.
He got put in jail for something I don't find to be super serious.
Right, I agree.
He had a lot of it, but maybe a little less next time, George.
Don't cross state lines with it. How about that?
Don't cross state lines with that shit. Come on now. I swear. I can't with people.
Legal in California, but not in Arizona. So in the capacity you had it. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody else from the self-quarantine edition worth talking about?
I think this episode was a little more light. I don't know how they're deciding like who's going to be on for each episode, because it feels like there's just like a jumble of not current, but like more current, past, whatever. So I look forward to seeing the next episode.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's all I have. I know we have some social media roundup we wanted to get into.
Yeah, social media roundup. Ed is still going live with anyone under 18 he can find.
He's not finding them. They're finding him. So here's like a plus and a minus for getting attention from PewDiePie. I'm going to call him PewDiePie.
Which is a YouTuber.
He is the biggest YouTuber, to be exact. And he caught the attention of PewDiePie, who made a video about him. And one thing to remember is that PewDiePie's audience is mostly teenagers because he does gaming stuff and really stupid, crazy stuff. So to get the attention of a guy who does YouTube videos for teenagers means you're probably going to all of a sudden have this gigantic flux of teenagers following you on Instagram. and these people are trolls. So I feel like they are like just trying to bait Ed into letting them on so they can be like, oh, look, I'm 16 on here. And it's just bad. Like Ed is like trying to say, like, for the love of God, please be over 18 or have your parent in the room. And I don't think we've seen this before. I don't think anyone of our cast, past and present, has had to put like a disclaimer like 18 or over on their lives. Because it came off a little bit creepy where everyone that was getting on his lives were like kids. It's just so bizarre. But, you know, the attention he's getting, he exists in the Twitch community. He caught the attention of somebody who's big in the YouTube and Twitch community.
Yeah.
Like, it's bound to happen. And so, you know, his uptick went up. I think he's like at 200,000 followers on Instagram now, and he's verified. But most of those followers are probably under 18. And
I wonder how long.
That's why he's getting that.
I wonder how long they'll hang in there following him. You know, if they're
they will. Most of the time, you get into it, and that's good.
But then there was also Rose, who came out and did a live herself, saying Ed was full of shit.
Yeah, I talked about that one. He didn't buy anything. He's full of shit. Mm-hmm. You know, the crazy thing is, like, once she put it out, like, she
immediately wanted to take it down.
I forgot where she immediately wanted to take it down, and it was like, it's all over the internet. Like, this is the one thing. Do not do lives. Do not post anything if you think you're going to regret it. Like, I think she just wanted to go out there and say, attention, everyone. Ed's a piece of shit. Peace. Mm-hmm. But now that is immortalized everywhere because it is everywhere. Like, there's no taking it down from the internet.
That he hasn't actually given her anything other than some, bra and panties, and her sister didn't really ask him for money. That was all full of lies, and he's disrespecting her family. And just using them to get famous. He just wants to be famous, and he's a liar full of shit, essentially, is what she said. If you guys want to see the full one, Hannah Cabo, you have it on your page, right?
Right.
At 90 Day Fiance Today on Instagram. And the final thing we have is Stephanie is back on Instagram on a limited basis, so she says. So that's it for the social media roundup. What else we are watching? We talked about this a little bit on our last episode, which was actually our bonus episode, which was a crossover with 90 Day Gays. We're watching Too Hot to Handle on Netflix, which is kind of like Love Island without the sex. We're going to be covering it on our Patreon. If you haven't already listened to our talking about it, what we have talked about to the extent we have, that's on our feed, which is part 2 of the crossover episode. Part 1 is on their feed. So that is our Patreon, which is patreon.com/thefraudcast. You can find us there. We have a $3 level and a $3 level and a $5 level. You both get the same content. At the $5 level, though, you get a one-time mailing of stickers, which I know I have some that I need to mail out, and I will get those done this week. Want to give a quick shout out to those $5 level members. We didn't get to it on our last episode, but I want to hit you guys up now. We have Sarah F., Sunny, Jane, Stephanie, Tricky Nikki, Andrew, Candace, Pat, Tracy, Shawnee, Sydney, Janice, Kara, Denoreth, Jenna, is it Jenna Say or is it Jenna? Oh, I see. Jenna Say Qua. Catalina, Rochelle, or is it Rachel? I'm sorry. Margaret, Kristen, Lindsay, Christy, Christina, Liz, Holly, Barbara, Robbie, Ashley, Dorothy, Ruth, Carrie, Melissa, Lisa, Kimberly K, Sarah M, Kelly Z, Brandy McDonald. Is it Brand? No, okay, sorry. Brandy Mac, Ivy, Andrea, Beth. Oh, nope. That gets into the $3 level. Sorry, Beth. You get an extra shout out. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for being Patreons. It is amazing that you guys want to pay a little extra money to hear us talk a little extra more. We appreciate that. You can find Hanakawa at 90 Day Fiance today. You can find me at Frauded by TLC. I do Frauded Night Lives on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about the gossip of the week. I don't think I'm going to be doing one this week, unfortunately, just due to other stuff. But you can find me there. You can find me on YouTube at Frauded by TLC. On YouTube has all of the Frauded Night Lives and all of the episodes of the Fraudcast. So once again, we appreciate you guys listening. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, your quarantine days, to listen to us. And that's all we got for you. So we are the Fraudcast, and we are dumpster diving, so you don't have to.
This Fraudcast has been produced and edited by yours truly. Art by Sarah Dottie. Music written, produced, and performed by Ooh Mommy. Segment producer at iHeart Reality TV Shows. Further assistance provided by many unnamed fraud consultants.